Which countries are similar to U.S. states by GDP? First, we have California, which is similar in GDP to Germany, with a whopping $3.9 trillion. If it was a country, it would have the fifth highest GDP. Next, Texas has a similar GDP to Russia at $2.5 trillion. Next is New York, which has the GDP similar to Canada at $2.1 trillion. Florida has a GDP close to that of South Korea, and Illinois to Saudi Arabia at $1.6 trillion and $1 trillion, respectively. Ohio is similar to Turkey at $850 billion. Georgia, New Jersey, North Carolina, and Washington all have similar GDPs to Switzerland at around $800 billion. Massachusetts and Virginia have GDPs comparable to Poland at $730 and $710 billion, respectively. Michigan is similar to Argentina at $660 billion, and both Colorado and Tennessee are similar to Israel at $520 billion. Maryland and Arizona both have GDPs around $510 billion, similar to the United Arab Emirates. Indiana's GDP is similar to that of Thailand's, at around $500 billion. Minnesota is similar to Austria at $470 billion, and both Wisconsin and Missouri are similar to Vietnam with around $415 billion GDP. Colombia has a similar GDP to Connecticut at $340 billion. Oregon, South Carolina, and Louisiana all have GDPs similar to Romania at $315 billion. At $300 billion, Arkansas has a similar GDP to Chile, and Kentucky to Finland at $280 billion. Utah is similar to Iraq at $270 billion, Oklahoma to Portugal at $255 billion, Iowa to New Zealand at $250 billion, Nevada to Qatar at $240 billion, and Kansas to Kazakhstan at $225 billion. Arkansas, Nebraska, and Washington, D.C. have similar GDPs to Hungary at around $175 billion. Crazy how the capital city has a GDP similar to an entire European country. Mississippi is similar to Morocco with $145 billion, New Mexico to Ethiopia with $130 billion, Idaho to Slovakia with $120 billion, New Hampshire to Kenya with $111 billion, and Hawaii to Angola with $108 billion. Guatemala has a similar GDP to both West Virginia and Delaware at around $95 billion. Maine is similar to Bulgaria at $90 billion, North Dakota to Sri Lanka at $74 billion, Rhode Island to Panama at $77 billion, South Dakota to Belarus at $72 billion, and Montana to Lithuania at $71 billion. Now the three states with the lowest GDPs. Alaska has a GDP similar to Costa Rica with $67 billion, Wyoming similar to Sudan at $50 billion, and finally, Vermont's GDP is similar to Bolivia at $43 billion. The U.S. itself has the highest GDP in the world. It's incredible how so many U.S. states have GDPs similar to entire countries.